Alienware goes head-to-head with the Switch, Twitch streamers raise money and awareness to support the efforts in Australia, Pokemon gets its first ever DLC, and Sony says it's skipping E3 again. My name is Codiak and you're watching This Week in Gaming. The Nintendo Switch burst onto the scene in 2017 with an innovative concept and bold design, surpassing 41 million sales worldwide and quickly establishing itself as an elite console in the company's rich history. Fast forward to CES 2020 and Alienware looks to take Nintendo's idea and make it its own. The company known for high-end gaming computers unveiled the UFO concept, a handheld gaming platform that functions similarly to the Switch. The system boasts an 8-inch screen, outputs around 1200p, and has the ability to be played docked and on the go. And while the internal specifications of the device are still under wraps, reports indicate that UFO will use Intel's 10th generation CPU, Ice Lake. What is confirmed is that UFO looks to pack a Windows 10 machine into a portable package. The platform is bigger and bulkier than a Switch, and that's by design. UFO is being created with adults in mind, but for now, it's just a concept and one that's catching everyone's eye in the tech world. Australia is burning, and even if you don't follow world events, you've probably seen ongoing efforts around the world to raise awareness and funds to help offset the destruction of the devastating fires. This past week, Loserfruit and Fastfee, two native Australians and popular content creators, attempted to raise $15,000 Australian and donate the proceedings to three charities: Red Cross Disaster Relief Australia, Wires, and the New South Wales Rural Fire Service. What they weren't expecting was the sheer amount of generosity that came out in support of their initiative. Within the first hour, the initial goal had already been reached. Soon, prominent names in the gaming world such as Dakotas, Laserbeams, Brody, and Grace Watkins were taking notice and offering to help keep the momentum building. At the end of the day, and after a marathon stream of around 36 hours, $318,511 Australian had been raised, which equates to around $220,000 American. It was a shining example of how the gaming community can come together and use the platform we know to raise awareness and support for the issues that matter most. If you've been following our recent uploads, you probably know that we have our eye focused on Temtem, a monster collection game that could rival Pokemon's dominance in the genre. Temtem made news this week as it began preparing for their early access period, but Pokemon was making waves of their own. Revealed last week, Pokemon Sword and Shield will be receiving the first ever DLC introduced by the franchise. The $30 expansion acts more like a game pass, with the first content, the Isle of Armor, releasing by the end of June, and the Crown Tundra content releasing in the fall. While DLC is common practice for most modern games, it's the national deck that's once again at the center of the controversy. 200 previous generation Pokemon will be reintroduced to the game, as well as various new regions and progression opportunities. Luckily, the expansion doesn't limit players that choose not to buy. All versions of the game will sync to include new content, and players can still trade for the Pokemon that are locked behind the paywall. They just won't have access to the new content outright. As expected, this decision has come under fire from longtime fans of the series, but little is likely to change. Every year, tens of thousands of people flock to California for one of the industry's most notable video game events, E3. But for the second year in a row, Sony has decided to pass on the banner event. While no specific reasons why were shared publicly, it's pretty common knowledge that E3's stranglehold over the games industry has been waning, with attendance steadily declining over the years. In a similar vein, conventions mean competition, and with more companies experimenting with press conferences of their own, it opens up the door for possibilities within Sony. Finally, it's worth pointing out that E3 could undertake a wild transformation this year. Rumors of the event turning into an influencer-focused experience have broadly circulated, and developers may have mixed emotions about the direction E3 is heading. One thing is for certain, Sony is set to have a big 2020 with games like Last of Us Part 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Ghost of Tsushima all releasing sometime this year. Assassin's Creed has taken players on adventures around the world, but many are wondering what's next for the popular series. Thanks to some recently alleged leaks, we now have a more clear picture about what the game could actually be. The leak suggests that the next Assassin's Creed adventure could take place around 845 CE during the Viking-led siege of Paris. The game will be played from the perspective of a male or female character named Jorah as they meet influential historical figures of the time. In terms of gameplay, a new class system complete with dedicated skill trees was floated, along with 4-player drop-in co-op. Additionally, things like Sailing, the Hidden Blade, and Conquest battles all look to be returning. And who says size doesn't matter? Rumors have stated that the in-game map is twice the size of Odyssey's, including most of or all of Northern Europe, including the cities of York, London, Paris, and Kyiv. Now, while these are all leaked rumors, Ubisoft doesn't have a great track record when it comes to keeping information buttoned up, and from everything circulating online, it looks like we won't have to wait long to find out more. Official information about the game is rumored to surface at the Sony event scheduled for February. And that's a look around the industry at the news you need to know about. If you want to continue the conversation, feel free to join Legion Gaming on Discord, and as always, your likes and comments are appreciated. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legion Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.